Well, welcome to our Dream in the Woods. We're continuing to put the bents together. On this video, hopefully we'll get this next one screwed together, placed, squared, and kind of have a template of how we're going to do the rest of them. So there's 8 to make. They're a total height of about 26 feet, 18 feet wide, and then that's the center bent of a larger structure that'll be 42 by actually 66 really. So trying to put all these pieces together. All this timber we milled here locally. Most of about 70% of the lumber came off the trees from the property, and we milled it on our Woodlands HM130. The barn design is Barn Geeks, is where I kind of bought the plans and they customized it for me. So you know, they just kind of make you think you can do it, and we're doing it. So it's exciting. I got Brian, my brother Sam, Eric, of course, is involved. Austin's going to be here. So we got a kind of a little team. My nephew Bryce is helping out today. So it's fun, and we're getting after it. All right, we're kind of on day 3 of the project. Figuring out exactly what we're going to do. We're laying out a whole center bent to start with. All of our angles, everything looks real good. And we're thinking about making at least the rafter systems on the ground, and then putting the post and the beam on the sawhorses. So transporting that rafter system to where it's going to go, and then building the rest of the bent there. So dealing with some irregularities in the timbers, which is, I think, typical. You know, not everything is exactly 10 inches wide, 6 inches deep, but we're real happy with so far what we got. So you can kind of see that irregularity there. That's maybe 3/8 of an inch. So I think we're going to shim that up to cut the gap. And then these all get to put, the rafter system gets put together with structural screws. And so we'll just cinch that all together here and then lift it to the sawhorses where it's going to be. That's the plan so far. We got Brian, my brother Sam, and Bryce all on the team. New addition to the war chest here. Check on the baby birds. How's everyone doing up there? Don't have much to say. All right. The bent is pieced together. We haven't. I tell Sam, hold it, and he interrupts me. You know, I'm trying to make some YouTube videos here. All right, so go ahead. Everyone's trying to interrupt me. I know. I'm trying to make a YouTube video over here. Okay, this is it. This is the scale. The posts need to be cut to length, but they are within 4 inches of where they need to be. And that's what it looks like. Oh, and the joists have to be cut off. They only go out, it's a 2-foot overhang, so we're gonna shave those down. There he goes again. All right, we're getting ready for the move. The truss is already screwed all together. The template's down. So got Sawhorse Brigade down there.
Oh, there's that doohickey right there.
It won't go over it, huh?
It won't.
That stinks.
I don't think it would. I thought it looked like it was about to hit it.
So gonna move that down there and then attach the post to the rafter system and that beam and supports and the extra bracket for the sides. So anyway, trying to get a good system down. We'll talk about how we screwed everything in a little bit.
You got a strap on that skid steer.
You know, it might be. I'm just thinking with all that there and trying to, because you're going to have to not lift that weight, but get it to where it's.
Yeah, it's
You're going to
probably
have to
going
lift
to want
this
to do
whole,
this too.
all this weight here, just because that's where the lift point's going to be down here, right? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah,
Unless it's vertical.
I wasn't that good at math.
Unless the grab's here.
Huh? Grab. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're, or are we just overthinking this? Because I was just going to have him grab the tip and walk it right down there with the skid steer. Oh, but we have the issue of all this stuff in our way, don't we?
Well, for that matter,
Unless you're okay driving.
why
on
grab it? Just put the forks underneath there and lift it up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, then we're going to get dings here and there.
Fork dings.
Yeah.
We hate 14.
Yeah.
Should we try lifting it just to see?
It's too, the rafters are too far out to be vertical on it.
Right.
I think it's going to be a little wonky to get it in there correctly, but yeah, should we try it?
Well, let's lift this end. It's up. Is that what you're thinking? Just lifting one end, putting this in, right?
Yeah, and then let
Or-
it down and
Or tipping it up. And have it sit on both of the rafter things.
Yeah, let me do those. Okay. Yeah, realistically, that should be the best way to do it.
I don't know.
Well, because that's all. It's not. It's that's
Yeah,
your load.
You're gonna have to be running that thing there.
Okay.
Aim that. I mean,
Well, let's see if
Can you lift that?
Okay, ready.
1, 2, 3. You okay? You okay?
yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm not doing that.
Slid on us.
It won't slide
Yeah,
anymore.
you all right?
Slide anymore
Yeah.
on that side.
I think that probably got all of us.
A little.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's heavy.
That's heavy.
So,
Okay.
go with the forks.
So let's just
Your brackets are strong.
yeah. Let's pick the point
Uh huh.
with straps, and you walk it down there. You just pick it.
All right.
Because I was just gonna do a double strap, but you have a single fork. You know. What I'm gonna do. You have these are both the same size, right?
Yep.
And then we'll
You gonna be able to get in there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could move this up so it's a little easier.
Yeah, you want to just put it on there? Huh? You want to just put it on here?
These, yeah.
Okay, that's our point. Oh, what
Does that fork slide to the middle? I guess it doesn't really matter.
It will. He's gonna have to come in at an angle anyway. Or
I'm just gonna lift it on one point.
yeah. Go ahead, yeah, try lifting that.
Back up a little bit. Okay, now lift.
God, I can cut these guys. Chainsaw. How much higher can you go?
Problem is that thing's gonna slide.
Yeah, are you as high as you can go right now?
All right, drive up on the concrete. Okay. Now what can you do for height? That's all you need.
All you need.
Maybe.
It's not. Once he gets up on it. Should have had a hole in my fork. I could hook the other fork. Yeah, We could hook the 4 and probably make it. But for now, it may be okay. I don't know. It's so high.
What if H will stand? If you wrap that strap, you get a ladder and wrap that strap through twice.
Yeah, problem ladder. That big for time.
Oh. H will stand. Bo know about those baby birds? Does Bo know about those baby birds?
More importantly, Beth knows.
Can I get up there on top?
Yeah.
As long as I'm on your forks, I'm happy. So. I don't know. You're gonna bring it down. I'll do a double strap. You guys can hold it without getting hurt.
I think it's going to stay.
Okay.
Okay, go down a little bit, nice and easy. Alright, good. Oh, we gotta get all the way out, don't we?
Yeah, you have to come down more.
Go down.
Back or back up.
There you go, back up a little. Yes. Loop it back around. Loop it back around each arm at once.
Yeah,
Come forward, Greg.
it's moving on me.
Come forward.
I don't know what's moving, but it's doing an obstacle. I can do a twist, can't I?
Yeah, so you do both of them like that.
Yeah.
Maintain us that. This is funky. I don't know what. You want to come down and just stand on this?
Yeah, I'm good if you guys got it.
You got it. Put 4 on that one board.
I could. I just didn't know if it would go. We could try it. Yeah, let's just do that. I just wasn't sure if it would work or not. Tell them to.
You good? Where you at?
Yeah, tell them to go ahead and back up.
Back up a little bit.
That'll work.
Good. Back up.
Hey, hold that. Forward. Twisting that way a little bit.
Okay.
Good.
Coming down.
Either that or I'm staying there. Or bring it up, just give it a little pressure up. Just twist it a little bit. Okay, I'm done.
Good job, Brian.
Okay. Now we got plenty.
Took a little bit to figure out how to move that truss system, but we got her moved on here. And so now, since it's elevated, we'll be able to attach the posts, that beam, and put the cross spaces in, and move all the bracketry, all the through bolts, cut the posts to length. And then once that's all together and complete, we'll have to figure out how to get that to the ground. Because then we're going to build 3 on top of one another. So anyway, tried lifting it, that didn't work, but the skid steer worked good. Sweetness. That's a good example of why we should change the blades. That just had wavy cuts all the way through. Every time we hit a knot, it was a wave. And so 4 passes did pretty good, but it's not perfect, and we'll take it. Little bit of bluing kind of mold on the side. It might show through a little bit, so that'll be kind of cool. Slick up this side next. Getting going here this morning. Got that bent kind of laid out yesterday. These are all the posts, remaining posts, so they're all planed and have the 612 pitch cut on one end. So I'm going to cover those up with some Tyvek, keep out of the direct sunlight, and so I do that this morning. I think this afternoon I'm going to work on putting the plates on and getting the system going for that. I'll show you what I have down the lumber storage there. So that's all the 6x8 material. So a bunch of that needs to be planed up and prepared for rafter beams and tie beam, or all that pile there. This is all where all the 6x10 material was. It's all out of there now. As I was pulling the beams out, or the posts, the 6x10 posts, these are all the beams. So I think that's the next thing I'm going to do this morning is get those all planed up and raring to go, just since they're already out. Get that pile, and then there's some oddball stuff over there that needs to be then put back in that rack. So, and then kind of cover everything back up. I have to work tomorrow, so, and I'm working out here solo, except I think that Dean, my father-in-law, is going to come out this afternoon for a bit. So, still have a bunch of 6x6 material to plane up also, but lots of work, but it's coming together. Another thing Brian and Dean were doing yesterday was cutting a bunch of these king posts and tie members, tie beam, tie, whatever they're called. So getting going on all those. Those all need to be end sealed, and I'll show you what I've been end sealing everything with. So Heritage Natural Finishes is like liquid wax. And I got that idea from the Shelter Institute. That's what they use to end seal all of their stuff, and it's non-staining, and it seems like it goes on good. Wasn't sure how much of that I need. It looks like that little cord is gonna go quite a ways, but I went ahead and ordered a gallon, so I have lots of that stuff. So anyway, all these are all been end sealed already. So pretty sight. Okay, I'm gonna try to tackle putting these plates on and getting the bolts to go through into the plate on the bottom. I may have messed up. I did watch the Barn Geek video again, and he said everything should be drilled out to 9/16 and then use a 1/2 inch bolt. These holes are just accommodating 1/2 inch bolt. They're not drilled to 9/16, and that's because no matter what you do, it's difficult to drill all those holes down through and have them line up with the other plates. So Jeff, the CNC guy, made this jig here, and I think it's going to help, but I'm going to have to drill from both sides. And so yeah, I just have a couple ideas I'm going to play with, and hopefully it works out. I'm going to flip the beam over and put the bottom plates on and not drill anything through, and then put the top plates on, drill down about 4.5 inches into the timber, and then go from underneath and drill up, and then hopefully that bit will find that hole, and then they'll follow, and you just kind of ream it out. That's my idea. This one here is a little tougher to do from the bottom side. I have to do some more thinking on that. These other plates have holes for screws to go in, so you can secure that plate to your material, and it'll stay there. So anyway, just things to think about. So anyway, let's get to it. All right, got Austin out here helping out on the planer station, trying to finish up. That should be all the 6x6s that we need for the center bent project. This is what we have planed out already, and then up on the sawmill, stuff that's already been pre-cut for the pieces. So we'll get that done. Kind of been busy out here. That is a stack of all of the center beams, 6x10s, or the main beam that comes across. And then on this side is a stack of all of the posts, 6x10s. So the 6x10s are all done. After we're done with that pile, we'll be done with all the 6x6s, and then we'll just focus on planing out the rest of the 6x8, which are the rafter pieces and the tie beam. So the rafter piece here, and then this tie beam right here. So try to get through a lot of planing today. So my project today is going to be to get these plates on and this bent completely together, and then figure out how we're going to get this off the sawhorses and down to the ground. I'm not really sure how much this thing weighs, but my guess is around 1,700 to 2,000 pounds. So it's beefy. So anyway, I did figure out a good system on those plates, and so hopefully that's repeatable, and I can get those other plates on without having any trouble. All right, I apologize. I have not done very good videoing in the last day and a half of being out here. I'll give you an update here. So those are all 6x6s, all planed up. Those are going to be turned into braces. And I think Brian is going to be out here tomorrow working on that. These are all 6x8s. So these are truss beams and tie beams. Still need a lot more of those to finish the project, but that's all we're down to as far as planing is those. I think there's 15 more pieces over there in the stack. Already have all the 6x10s buttoned up, and I've just been doing tons of thinking and calibrating and of how to get these together, and it's working. So just getting all these bolts to line up and through is a little engineering feat. So I have a system that's working. So that plate's in, it's tight. The far plate is in and tight. These plates are future plates for a beam that goes on the side, so we put both those in. So what I'm working on now is the plate up here, connects the beam to this rafter beam, or the post to the rafter beam. And so that joint there, when we're putting this in, we're putting strapping on. So once that's in, I think we are talking about putting 2 screws. I think actually we're going to come from this side and put a screw into that rafter beam. Sorry. Then the last thing left is these 2 brace points. So bracing here to the corners. So something like that. Not that simple. So then I think, let me go over here and I'll show you. So then there's been long discussions about this joint and that plate, and lifting these bents into the brackets with the crane. So we just don't think that this joint here is designed, it's designed for uplift on the rafter that direction, but to those 2 bolts with end grain there, is that designed to hold the whole bottom part of the bent. and some people might say, oh yeah, some people might say no, but I think we've come to the conclusion that no, we don't like that. And so we're going to separate them, make the rafters, make the bents, and then take the rafter off, lift the H post now into the bracket, and then lift the rafter section onto the posts. So take a little more time, but I think we feel more comfortable with that. So that was a big question, and I'd be interested on what everyone else thinks about that. But I think as of right now, we're going to separate the two and lift them independently. The crane that we have, we're going to borrow and run ourselves, and it has the capacity to boom out 60 to 70 feet and have, you know, basically 2,000 pounds on the end of it. So I think we have plenty of crane capacity. So yeah, lots of thinking, especially getting these things going. The other question that I have, so these H brackets to the concrete, you can see a lot of threads showing on those two. We hit rebar there and we stopped. So they're in the concrete 2 to 3 inches, maybe a bit more. And then we hit concrete or rebar on those two. And then the back ones were able to go all the way down. So those are 5.5 inch wedge bolts. So the big question is how much does it need to hold that in place structurally? My dad is a little concerned about having all those 4 bolts so close together and then having that pressure from the wedge bolt that could crack the concrete. I just want it to be sound, and I have no idea. So 6 seems a little extreme, and I think, but we might want to do that on the perimeter. But this is probably what we're going to go with if we can get the wedge bolts all the way down. So those are 4 on the outside, and then not use them on the inside. So be curious of what people think about that. But all these are on top of piers which have rebar, and so we are going to hit rebar occasionally. Here, that one we did the same thing. Especially there's a double set of rebar on the outside of the concrete. So anyway, things to think about. Another thing you can see, we have covered the timbers with Tyvek, and that's not necessarily to keep the moisture out, it's to keep those out of the direct sunlight. And so the sun can do wonky things to this stuff, so I'm going to try to cover the timbers that are out here with Tyvek, and eventually we'll have this timber frame covered with Tyvek too. So just as a precaution, we're going to put these up in about 2 weeks, and so they're not out for very long, but whatever we can do to keep the wood stable, we're going to try. Little update on the tools. This timber cart is maybe the coolest tool that I bought. I'm super happy with that. The planer, the big 12-inch planer, it's a workout running that thing, but it's doing its job. You can see a mound of chips there. I have an extra set of blades, but it seems like it's doing fine. You got to just keep the pitch off the bottom of it so it slides a little easier. So that's working good. The beam saw is working good. Yeah, things are running on all cylinders. So it's just a matter of getting this first one and having all the pieces here, and I think that we will be faster in the future. Again, I apologize for not videoing very well, especially the last couple days of working on this stuff. We're working hard out here, but just trying to get the math and the system down so everything goes together is a little challenging. So I'll share all those details of how we came up with it. I'm sure there's a million ways to do it. Also feels like after when we're building a structure like this is that people have built big timber frame structures for hundreds, maybe 1,000 years, I don't know, a long time. And some of these things we're discovering again on our own, but really people have known this kind of stuff for, you know, centuries. So anyway, it's cool, it's fun, we're having a good time. I'm not too stressed out at the moment, but there's a lot of work to do. So appreciate everyone watching. I'll do better with the next video, and make sure you hit like and subscribe, and it's happening. Have a good night.